I'm back, guys. Did you miss me? I'm happy to be back. So here we go, new video. We're going to now take what we know about factoring trinomials and factor by grouping, and we're going to put it together so that we can factor polynomials that had a leading coefficient other than 1. So what we've done so far is we've done polynomials with 4 terms, and we've done polynomials of the x squared plus bx plus c. So now we're going to put something in front of the x squared. And we need to know that a is the coefficient before x squared, b is the coefficient before x, and c is our constant. So in order to do this, what we're going to do is I call this the old man in the glasses because I'm going to make glasses. Okay, so we're going to multiply a and c. We're going to look at the factors of a times c that add to b. And then we're going to split this middle term right here and do factor by grouping. So let's take a look because that's a lot. Okay, so old man in the glasses. I'm going to multiply this a times c, which is 4. So factors of 4 that add to 5. Well, this one's kind of easy. 1 times 4 is 5. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to split the middle term and make that 1y, make this 4y. And look what happens. When you add 1y and 4y, you get 5y. And then I'm going to bring down the outsides. 2y squared plus 1y plus 4y, and then the 2 comes down, plus 2. So now I've made it into something with 4 terms, and you know how to factor that. Okay? So we're going to do factor by grouping. And you guys did really great on that factor by grouping quiz. I was really, really pleased. So my greatest common factor here is y. I'm going to factor out a y, and I'm going to get 2y plus 1. I'm going to factor out a 2, and I'm going to get 2 times 2y plus 1 again. So now y plus 2 and 2y plus 1. And there you go. That's all there is to it. And remember, if you wanted to check, you could multiply. Next example. Get an old man in the glasses because we're going to multiply those. So 3 times negative 6 is negative 18. So we're going to find factors of negative 18 that add to negative 7. So like before, one of them has to be positive and one has to be negative. So 1 and 18, and because we want it to be negative, our larger of our factors is going to be negative, is negative 17. Then 2 goes into 18 9 times. We're going to make that negative, so it's negative 7. So here's my factors. I'm going to split the middle term. Let's go with negative 9n plus 2n minus 6, and then 3n squared. Okay. I'm going to divide by 3n, and I'm going to get 3n times n minus 3. This I'm going to divide by 2, and I'm going to get n minus 3 again, so I know that I'm done. So I get 3n plus 2 and n minus 3. And I'm done. There, I factored it. Let's look at some more examples. Okay, taking the steps away, see if we can remember. Multiply 3 and negative 8, and that's going to give me negative 24. That adds to our middle term of negative 14. Okay, again, factors of 24, and the larger has to be negative. So 1 and negative 24 is negative 23. 2 and negative 12 is negative 10. 3 and negative 8 is negative 5. 4 and negative 6 is negative 2, and then 5 doesn't go in evenly, so we've hit all of our factors. So there's nothing when I multiply 3 and negative 8 that adds to negative 14. Okay, So that means that this is prime. It can't be factored. Okay, so I've gone through all of my factors of negative 24, and none of them add to negative 14. So this one is prime. Okay, now, again, we want to look for the greatest common factor, right? So I noticed that all of these are even, so they're all going to be divisible by 2. So I'm going to get 2 times the quantity 2y squared plus 7y plus 3. So I need factors of, I'm going to do my multiplication, 2 times 3 that add to 7. So factors of 6 that add to 7 are going to be 1 and 6, and that does give us 7. I'm going to kind of tuck this away, remember, because we're going to have to put it in at the end. So I'm going to split my middle term and bring down the ends. 2y squared plus 1y plus 6y plus 3. Out of here, I'm just going to factor, out of the first two, I'm going to factor a y. I'm going to get a y times 2y plus 1. Out of the second, I'm going to divide by 3, and I'm going to get 2y plus 1 again. So I get y plus 3 and 2y plus 1 for my factors, and then the 2 that we tucked away for later. So here is my final answer. Now, I want to show you that it doesn't matter which way I decide to do it. I'm just going to take the trinomial, that 2y squared plus 7y plus 3, and I'm going to flip the order that I wrote my factors. So if I split my middle term, I'm going to get 2y squared plus 6y plus 1y plus 3. The 6y plus the 1, remember, has to equal that middle term, which is 7y. So if I group now this time, I'm going to divide by 2y, and that's going to give me 2y times y plus 3. And out of the second, I'm going to factor out a 1 and y plus 3. So I'm going to get the exact same thing. The 2y plus 1 from the coefficients, or the GCFs, and then the y plus 3. So it works either way. Let's just do one more example. This time when I'm looking, it appears that all of these are divisible by 3. Okay, so I'm going to divide by 3, and I'm going to get 3 times the quantity 6x squared plus 11x minus 10. So I need factors of, if I multiply 6 times negative 10, which is going to be negative 60, divided by, or they have to add to positive 11. Okay. Again, one of them is going to be negative and one's positive, but this time our larger number is going to be positive. Okay, so this is 59. 2 goes into 60 30 times, so it's negative 2 and 30 is 28. 3 goes in 20 times, so negative 3 and 20 is 17. 4 goes into 60 15, so negative 4 and 15 is 11. So those are my factors. I'm going to bring this down and tuck it away for later. Split my middle term, negative 4x plus 15x, and then bring down the outsides. So from here, I'm going to get 2x. So I'm going to get 2x times 3x minus 2. Here I'm going to get a 5, so it's going to be 3x minus 2 again when I divide. So I get 2x plus 5, 3x minus 2, and then the 3 that we originally pulled out. So there's my final answer. So what did we hopefully learn today? Hopefully we learned how to factor polynomials where a is the leading coefficient. I want to multiply a times c. I'm going to find the factors of that add to our middle term. We're going to split the middle term and then do factor by grouping. Hope you have a great night, and I'll see you in class tomorrow.